Last time, Parthia and the Sasanian Empire. The Xiongnu became a major power rooted in the horse culture of the steppe. How did the Xiongnu unite the many peoples of the steppe into one empire? History Episode 30. Classical Era. The Xiongnu and the Nomadic Peoples. Part 1. Life on the steppe. The world of the nomads. Nomads lived in portable felt tents, moving with the seasons. Herding sheep, cattle, and horses. They relied on the horse for both travel and war. Women and children also cared for the herds and helped with seasonal migrations. Some elite women appear to have held high rank and political authority in frontier regions. Farming societies often viewed them as outsiders. But nomadism was a way of life adapted to the steppe. Part 2. The Xiongnu unite the steppe. The rise of Modu Xiongnu. Xiongnu was the title the Xiongnu used for their supreme leader. Modu is said to have trained his soldiers to shoot wherever his whistling arrow struck. The Shiji says Modu tested his soldiers' obedience before killing his father and taking power. Modu and his successors defeated the Donghu and drove the Yuezhi westward, expanding Xiongnu power. The Xiongnu thus built the first steppe empire to unite a vast region of Asia. Part 3. The Xiongnu's realm. How the Xiongnu were governed. Below the Xiongnu stood the wise kings of the left and right, ruling east and west. Facing south, they called the east left and the west right. The army was organized into units of 10,000, 1,000, 100, and 10. Similar decimal organization later appeared among other steppe powers, including Genghis Khan's Mongol Empire. Each year in the 1st and 5th lunar months, commanders gathered before the Xiongnu for meetings and rites. The Xiongnu were not a state of one people alone, but a multi-ethnic empire of many groups. Regional leaders retained a degree of autonomy, while owing the Xiongnu loyalty, troops, and resources. This system let scattered tribes move together as swiftly as a single army. Part 4. Between steppe and farmland. Nomads and settled peoples. Nomads traded horses and hides for grain and silk from settled societies. The Han sought to preserve peace through Hikan, a policy combining marriage alliances with gifts of silk and grain. Depending on circumstances, settled states either sent goods to secure peace or responded with military force. When trade and peace broke down, raids and wars followed, a pattern repeated for centuries. For farmers in border villages, this cycle repeatedly disrupted everyday life. Part 5. A divided Xiongnu. The southern and northern Xiongnu. Succession struggles, famine, and pressure from the eastern Han deeply weakened the Xiongnu. The southern group submitted to the eastern Han and settled along the frontier. The northern group remained on the Mongolian plateau and continued to resist the eastern Han. This split reshaped the balance of power across the entire Mongolian plateau. Part 6. Driven from the Mongolian plateau. The defeat of the northern Xiongnu. To the east, the rising Xianbei began to press hard against the northern Xiongnu. In 89 CE, following pressure from the Xianbei, Eastern Han and Southern Xiongnu forces dealt the Northern Xiongnu a decisive blow. This defeat ended Northern Xiongnu dominance on the plateau, and survivors moved west, or were absorbed by others. As Northern Xiongnu power faded, other nomadic powers, especially the Xianbei, took their place. Part 7. Did the Xiongnu become the Huns? A disputed hypothesis. Some scattered remnants of the northern Xiongnu are thought to have moved westward. Centuries later, a new power called the Huns appeared in Eastern Europe. How the Xiongnu and the Huns were connected remains debated, and has not been clearly established. Recent archaeogenetic research links some individuals from European Hun period elite burials to Xiongnu elites. But it does not show that all Huns descended from the Xiongnu. Part 8. The legacy of steppe empires. What came after the Xiongnu? After the Xiongnu, Xianbei groups, the Rouran, and the Gokturks successively dominated the Mongolian plateau. Moving across the steppe, nomads also helped link trade routes between east and west. In this way, the tradition of steppe empire endured for over 1,000 years, changing shape along the way. Nomadic peoples were not merely threats to settled civilizations, but major forces that helped shape world history. The Xiongnu Empire ceased to exist as a unified power, but new steppe empires kept rising on the plateau. Next time, we leave the steppe to explore a wave of new thought that arose across the world. Across the classical world, thinkers emerged who asked new questions about humanity and the world. That story continues in the next episode.